Hi everybody, I'm going to show you this microphone. It's a Phenyx PM-26. It's a good product. It's well made. It's got a good intelligibility factor. I think you're going to like the way it sounds, but we're going to do a shootout and we're going to use this mic. I'm going to set up 4 microphones, one really fancy one that's similar to this, and we're going to kind of compare them all in a lot of different ways. So I'll play guitar and I'll talk into them, and we'll kind of make some comparisons. I think it'll be really interesting. It's a PM-26, and if it's a version that has an on-off switch on it, then it's the 26S. Here's what's inside here. You know, it looks just like a Shure SM48 bag, and it's just like that, and it's kind of nice. Yeah, it's soft. Okay, soft is good. And see what else is in here. There's a big cable, a sticker, and instruction manual. And I'm going to compare it to another mic in this price range, as well as an expensive mic. Let's take a look and see. So, you know, you can't see too much here. You might be able to... I don't want to take the capsule off, but then there's just going to be some wires connecting it in to the rest of the microphone. So you can't tell too much here. This has got fluff inside it, in there. And so I'm going to put it back together, and we'll go in the other room, and we will plug it in and turn it on. So I have a Neumann KMS105, a Temu mic. This is just a $20 thing. It's really like a stage prop, and I have never actually used it, but I'm going to plug it in and try it out, see what it does. This is a Phenyx Pro a PM-26, and this is the mic that I wanted to show you. And this is a very expensive Neumann KMS105. And this is a super cardioid. This different than any of the others, and so granted, but just for fun and for comparison, we'll listen to it. This is obviously a more expensive German-made mic, and they retail for about $700. And it's cardioid. It's also super cardioid, and it's also a condenser mic. So the PM-26 is a super cardioid polar pattern, just like this, but it's like a $50 retail unit. This also, the SM48, is the little brother of the SM58, and they sound so similar. You could use this and consider, if you use an SM58 all the time, like a lot of people do, you know, this is kind of what it's going to sound like. An SM48 is a $50 microphone. And SM58 is a $100 microphone. This is my cheapo Temu $20 desk mic, and the expensive one. So then we'll plug in the Phenyx, and I'll show you what we can do. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi. All right, so I'm in the studio, and I've got 4 microphones set up. And so this is the Phenyx Pro PM-26 over here, and this is Shure SM48. They're all about the same distance away from me, and I'm gonna adjust them so that they're all about the same volume. As we go along, we'll do it together. This is a thing that I picked up literally on Temu, and it is more of a stage prop than anything else. But here it is. It's a dynamic microphone that I paid $20 for, and this is an expensive Neumann $700 KMS105. This is a super cardioid. It does require phantom power. It is a condenser mic, this Neumann over here. You're hearing that right now. You can also faintly hear a background noise. There's something in the room. It's my computer. Its fan is gone a little nutty, and so you'll hear something in the background. And I'm going to actually show you the difference between the mics, behind the mics as well, what that noise is, because I'm pretty sure it's originating right here behind the microphones. The fan noise from the computer, and it sounds not only at different volumes, and so it's different sensitivities behind the mic, but well, 3 of these are stage mics, really all of them. The sound characteristic of what it's hearing from behind it, it's the same sound, but it doesn't sound like the same sound. It's quite different. So that's interesting. But obviously, we're in front of the mics right now. You're listening to the Neumann. When I go over here, this is the Phenyx, once again, the Phenyx Pro, which is a $50 or so retail product. This is the PM-26, and it is also a super cardioid polar pattern. This is a Shure SM48. This is very similar to a Shure SM58. The 58 is about a $100 product. The 48 is about a $50 product, so we can do a nice comparison between these two. The SM48 microphone from Shure is almost identical. In so many ways, I could never tell the difference between the two. And this one costs half as much, and so it's a great one to consider. In the middle here, I bought it on Temu. I paid 20 bucks. I can use it as a stage prop. It's very pretty and it's shiny. And so this is cool, but let's listen to that as well. It's a dynamic mic. All are dynamic except this Neumann, which is it's a condenser that requires phantom power. Now, I have this mic and I have this mic plugged into basically their Midas preamps built into a Euphoria USB interface, the popular 1820. You probably have one. And that the mic inputs, you just plug directly into the back of, I have channels 7 and 8. This is 7 and this is 8. And so that's a little different than these two outside mics, which happen to be on the original stands that are always here on my desk. Maybe that's a way to remember it. Go into a rack-mounted ART Pro MPA. It's a microphone preamp with tubes. And so, it's not apples to apples that way. I have the phantom power on the ART MPA, rack mount mic preamp for this mic, but not this because this is dynamic. And then the distances away from me they're all really quite, you can see, okay? So I might move them a little bit too, just so that you can see me. So then we'll just go through different things. The first thing I want to do though is, you're hearing right now the Neumann, this one, and it's great. It sounds so great. It's just like, this is what I sound like right now. And you might, if you were here, you wouldn't be able to hear me so good because I'm only a few inches away from this microphone. It would be like I was, really close to you and you could hear every detail of my voice. The microphone is important, and when you have a high-end microphone, you can tell. That's why I have the headphones on, so that I can hear the beautiful, the intricacies, the way that layers of sounds are handled. And there's some kind of a thickness sometimes a microphone will have. And this Neumann is a lovely stage mic. So you're hearing the Neumann 105 right now. And pretty much all these mics are made to reject sound from behind. You want to have a feedback-free environment. So when you're in a PA system environment where you have PA speakers in the same room, it's great to use a stage mic. And I can also record with it. And I can record final production, really good quality stuff with it. Can't say enough about having a good mic. Let's look at the other mics. I have a multi-track going, you can see here. And so those are my mics. And I am going to, can you see that? Yeah. And so I have the ability, I have 2 of them muted right now. You're hearing the Phenyx, but it's not as loud as the Neumann. You're really hearing the Neumann overpowering the Phenyx right now. And the other 2 are muted. See how I have them lined up? That's what I'm playing with right now. And I can simply mute some of them and not others. Now I'm going to turn them all on. Now when I had turned them all on, it's going to sound really similar, but all 4 of these microphones are being funneled into a 2-channel output, which you're hearing right now. And it's great. And probably the Neumann is overpowering. I can see its volume is just louder, which is fine for me. I do tend to turn it up to its appropriate, as loud as possible volume when I use it. And I always have it plugged in here, and I use it every day. And so I have it turned up loud, but not too loud, just perfect. And so let's leave that and then come to the other mics. So for example, I have this mic, which is, and I'm just going to visually make it look like they're the same, level visually. This is on channel 8, the Temu cheapo. And I'm going to talk test 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, see now I can't even, that's up all the way for the Temu cheapo. By the way, I will isolate each of these, but you can hear Temu cheapo in channel 8 when I turn it up, and it's still not visually as high as the Neumann at its nice volume. It's really peaking at about -6. The Temu cheapo, I made that up, by the way, is just not, it's going to -18 or so, -12 maybe, and that had me turn this up with no pad on channel 8 in line mode. I'm going to put it on instrument mode. Test 2, 3, test, line mode, test 1, test 2. It doesn't have a mic, it has line or instruments. So out is line, test 2. That's instrument. I'm going to leave it like that. Test 2, 3. So in this case, it's not making any noise, but it is turned up all the way and still not quite as loud of an output, whether that really matters to you. And then I'm going to go, that's the Temu mic right here. And I'm going to go to this mic, and it also needs to come up a little bit. Test 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to try to match the Neumann. There we go. Test 3. They're really super similar now in visual volumes there. And I'm going to go to the Phenyx, which is channel 1 on my MPA, and I'm going to turn it up because it was a little lower. Now they're all about the same. Now I'm going to mute things. And so let's just take a look, and I'm going to also play the guitar. I'll try and get things get going here, but I wanted you to understand what was happening and how I have channels able to mute them at my will. I'm going to go back down now, and you're listening to just the Neumann, and see it's directional. It's pretty directional when I come in like this. Test 1, 2, 3, test 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and you can hear that I could trust this mic to be quiet in the background and pick up intricacies of delicate sounds. That's how I would describe it. Now let's go to... and I'm going to lean in a little bit here to the Temu microphone. Here it is. This is what the Temu microphone... Okay, here it is. This is what the Temu microphones... It really doesn't sound bad. And if you're doing announcing, what the heck? You have to get kind of close to it. Now, when I'm this close... it's still not. It's coming up to -12. Test 2, which is fine. It's fine. It's not a bad recording. All right, that's a $20 microphone. Now I'm gonna mute it and unmute the Shure SM48, and this is lovely. This has some presence in the mid highs that create a really easy to understand sound. You can hear the enunciation. You can hear a lot of details. And when someone's on stage, this is a great mic. These mics are famous and popular for a reason. Once again, this is an SM48, the little brother of the SM58, but it's half the price. And now we're going to go to another. Let's turn it on, the Phenyx. And this one is another $50 product. And I'm going to move it to, it's a little bit more comfortable here. Test 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It sounds similar to the SM. We'll go back and forth now because I'm finding these two are by far the most similar sounding. Okay, so let's get right in on these two mics. And I have everything muted except the Phenyx Pro PM-26. And now here's the Shure SM48. One of the biggest differences I noticed, the way it picks up room noise and the way this microphone might actually create its own noise. This is the Shure, and this is the Phenyx Pro. Phenyx Pro is plugged in. I'm going to go over here. There's not a lot I can do. I'm in a desk mounted microphone preamp that is of very high quality. I'm going to comment on two things. One is the Phenyx Pro has more background noise. And wait a minute. My computer is still on full fan. It's kind of broken. I'm getting a new computer, but I apologize. But that's okay, because that might be what you're hearing. Let's listen to just. I'm gonna shut up. Just the background noise. This is the Neumann, and I believe the background noise is coming from back there, behind the mics, where my computer is. So here's the Neumann. Here's the Temu. It's really not, it's not picking up anything as loudly, so also that would go for the background. That would go for the background noise. This is the Shure SM48. Listen to the background noise. That's remarkable. It really is. It's also the one that's pointed most directly at the source, the computer. And it's about 2 feet away. That's remarkably silent. Okay, here we go with the Phenyx. I'm going to aim it right at the source. Here's the Shure. Here's the Phenyx. And see, it's doing less rejecting background noise. Now, I'm going to comment on, regardless of that, because if you got things going on and there's instruments playing, or for example, you're on stage, there's going to be some sounds that you can tolerate, and this probably is a good example of that. Depending on what you're doing. If you need dead quiet, you might want to go with something more expensive. And actually, I'm actually very impressed with the SM48. For the price, it's really unbelievable. Now, this one, though, let's go to the Phenyx, is got a really interesting, you can hear the frequency curve, right? So it still has the brights and the intelligibility. Good. Test 1, 2, 3. But you can hear the mid-lows in my voice better. So this is more like a Sennheiser stage mic. They're also very popular, like the 835s, 935s. And it's got that brightness. It's different. You know, you may be a woman. I'm not. And therefore, we might really be shopping for different kinds of products. And what sounds best with me talking into it may be not the thing that you end up with. And to be able to try some of these things, it might be good to be able to just generically describe the differences between them. So let's go back to the SM48. Test 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. Nice and clear, nice and clean. Super quiet. I mean, I want to use an expletive there. It's really amazing. And absolutely what you expect, especially for the money. Now we're going to go to the Phenyx. And here's the Phenyx. Now, once again, I just sounds like it almost sounds like I'm on stage already. Almost like it has a lot of character in the mid-range. And that's good. That actually is good for my voice. It may be good for you too, you know, and just saying male and female is a different kinds of voice. Man, people just have so many different kinds of voices that this one I would describe as being extremely forgiving for articulation. You really can hear everything. It seems easy also to use this supercardioid area. I'm really used to that because I used microphones for so long. If you know, I get the polar. It also, it might be not a bad idea. Everything in the studio is plugged into the same outlet, the same circuit, and I don't really get hum, but I'm grounding that. This could maybe use some shielding. I'm not sure if the other mics do that. If I were to turn them all on for a second here. So this one does. This one does. Wow. So that's interesting. And that's really a clean, this is a clean studio. All right, so back on the Phenyx, and boy, it's kind of sounds like the Neumann as far as the curve. And so if you wanted that, but you know, you can't get that yet until you get famous and play Madison Square Garden, this is a good way to get in. This Neumann, by the way, it's very clean sounding. It has nice build quality, and it emphasizes my voice in similar ways. It emphasizes the mids, while also it has a decent reach for some of the high frequencies that allow it to sound intelligible. This one actually sounds more naturally intelligible, I would say. Once again, not too different. These two on the ends. They also are both going through the same MPA Art mic preamp. All right, now I'm just going to play a little music for you. I'm going to come down this way, and I'm just going to aim them down. I'm not going to do anything else. And I'll play first you can hear the Neumann through the microphone. That's the Neumann KMS105. This is a Temu cheapo mic. This is a Guild D55 guitar. You can tell that, you know, I'd like it to be more robust of a signal. That's a $20 microphone. All right, here's the Shure SM48 at this distance, 16 inches. Wow, that sounds really good. All right, and now here is the Phenyx Pro PM-26. Sure. Temu. Neumann. That was fun. So I'm glad that you took some time. This is it. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm done. I got to take my studio back. I got 3 cameras and mics all over the place. But just a reminder, these are all great mics and have their different personalities and their different uses. Now you have an idea of how they sound side by side next to each other. And you can also, like what I'm going to do right now, is turn them all on. And which is kind of an interesting idea, all right? Would you even think of a need to do such a thing? But now they're all on. Here they are. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 2, 4, 5. Test 6, 7, 8. Test 9, 10, 11. Test 12, 13, 14. Bye, everybody.